The north of England. Come up here and you'll see beautiful rural vistas and gritty urban landscapes. The odd horse on a football pitch. And at a ground in Salford called the Willows, you'll also see a quintessentially northern sport called rugby league.
The big hits!
The big hits,
The fights! The fights!
It's the toughest game going.
That's why you love it.
Absolutely.
Although calling league tough, one feels, is something of an understatement.
Every collision's like being a car crash, I suppose, and it's quite physically demanding, but also it's quite mentally demanding.
Last weekend we had a young guy and within the first 10 minutes broke his jaw, and the coach said, well, it's all right, he's only a winger, just let him stay on a little bit longer. So, and he did, and he performed all game, and he has got a broken jaw, unfortunately.
But as well as being a tough and incredibly skillful sport, it's an innovative one, which is why last year the game's top league introduced an American-style franchise system and scrapped any promotion and relegation.
Moving to a licence system where we're endeavouring to give clubs some security of knowing that they were in the top league for a period of time, which is 3 years.
"19 clubs applied for the 3-year licences based on criteria such as financial stability, playing strength and quality of facilities. 14 were successful.
It does give a team a period of time in which to try and establish itself and set some goals and move forward in certain areas and certain key areas on the business side to be able to finance themselves.
One key goal of the licensing system is to encourage local youth development, less of a priority in the past.
We had one English player in our team, the rest actually. Now we've 16.
Attendances for the Super League, which now average around 10,000, have risen every season since 2001. But critics of the franchise system say no threat of relegation will produce more meaningless matches and dull competition.
Certainly from the 1 year we've had so far, we didn't see a drop-off in attendances at clubs who were involved in games that maybe you could say weren't counting for anything at the bottom of the table.
It's not about a free pass or resting on your laurels.
We've had the fewest points difference that we've had in terms of games.
But all is not well in franchise land, because recently the RFL sent out warning letters to 5 clubs, including Wakefield and Salford, that have yet to even start construction on promised stadium developments.
We're very keen to remind clubs what they promised us during the last submission process.
I guess it's a nudge in the ribs to us to say, what are you doing?
These things are very, very complicated. We're rugby clubs, we're not developers.
The clubs are confident the recession has simply slowed things down, although others aren't so sure.
I don't think we'll get a stadium.
No?
No.
Why not?
Just don't think it's happening. It's been happening for 8 years. Don't think it's going to happen.
There's a lot of things going in the background. It's like the bloody duck floating on the pond, It looks like there's nothing happening, but underneath it's, we're pedalling, and we're pedalling fast.
With the Willows over 100 years old, it's obvious Salford does need a new home. Although it must be said that this place has a certain shabby charm. Along with that, there's a real sense of community here. Not to mention the smallest changing rooms I've ever seen. As for the bathroom, well, to be perfectly frank, after I'd set foot in here once, I don't think I'd ever want to come back. But isn't that what home advantage is all about?
I remember when I used to come and play against Salford as an opposition member, and I would just think to myself, oh, not another day at the Willows.
But for Super League, the Willows represents the past, and the game from the north is determined to improve both the quality and reach of its product.
We've got a Super League team in the South Wales, we've got a Super League team in the south of France, so we have an expansionist philosophy.
Because when its 14 franchise licences are renewed in 2012, This sport wants to make sure its clubs have taken the steps needed to move forward, no matter how tough that may be.